Good morning and welcome back to Anglers Reserve here at the Footscray Lacrosse Club in the west of Melbourne, bringing you live action from the 2022 Lacrosse Australia Senior National Championships. We have the championship final, Victoria taking on Western Australia, our men's contest. First up this morning, Lachlan Williams with you, Simon Levitt. Welcome.
Huge day of lacrosse. Back-to-back championship games, which is really exciting. Victoria, WA on both the men's and the women's competition. Really looking forward to it. We've got a big crowd, excitement in the air. You can feel it. It feels different to the other days, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And we did have a big crowd early just flee to the stands behind us. We've had a bit of a shower about 10 minutes out from the first face-off, but I'm sure that the clouds look to have cleared a little and the fans will be back out there shortly. But we're set for a massive contest here as the captains head to the middle for the coin toss. So Western Australia, the victors the last time these two met earlier this week, Simon. How did that one shape out?
Yeah, 5-7 to Western Australia. It was a really strong, hard game. I think Victoria, talking to a lot of their guys, they didn't really feel ready to start that tournament. They probably have been a little bit slow off the start, Victoria, but they've come really good at the right time.
Definitely.
And then Western Australia, they've played that really traditional slow offense. They really controlled the tempo of that game, which I think was probably the frustrating factor for Victoria. So we'll see if it goes the same way again today.
For sure. A couple of different things from that match earlier. Lee Davis, the coach of Victoria, missing through illness, so he won't be on the bench. Terry Sparks and Chris Plum leading the way, the assistants stepping up there. And of course, we saw in our stream the other day, Peter Quass going down for Victoria. That's going to be a big out, how they look to fill that hole.
Yeah, he's both big physically, but just his presence down in the offense, he really does control the ball there. He plays at X, he plays directly behind the goal and then out to that left side, really working hard to create stuff. The last game they played, he scored 2 goals of their 5. So he's going to be a really important out. And how they replace him, we saw against the under-21 team, they put Sean Clark in there. We can imagine that Sean Clark will play mostly in the face-off, though, against this game. We saw against South Australia, when Western Australia played yesterday, how important that face-off was. Once South Australia started controlling the ball, that was it. It was all over for Western Australia.
Definitely, and of course, Peter Quass, a left-hander, so that change. It's another dynamic that they have to consider. How about the West Australians? They come into it with a 4-1 record, the same as Victoria. They were... They looked in control against South Australia yesterday afternoon, but really I think it was a 7-1 second half to finish that one, and things didn't quite go the way of the WA boys.
Yeah, I mean, if you were Victoria, you just need to go back and watch that tape and replicate it as much as you can. They saw that Western Australia probably didn't handle the pressure as well as they would have liked. I think seeing less of the ball out of the middle, they didn't get to control the tempo of the game. South Australia really upped the tempo in that second half. And then from there, it was all South Australia, and Western Australia just didn't have that answer, did they?
Definitely. We're not far away from the first face-off. We'll have the players announced as they enter the field of play. Our referees ready to steer us towards a fantastic final here between Victoria and Western Australia. Of course, the Victorians playing in front of a home crowd as they look for a 5th consecutive national title. We've had to wait a couple of years in between then because of COVID interruptions, but the Vics certainly as hungry as ever to chase that history, and I believe it's a record-equaling win should they get there. So the Vics plenty on the line for them this afternoon. In the cage, I would expect Sean Aaron to start for Victoria. Most likely Ryan Spark for the West Australians. Do you say it that way, Simon?
Absolutely, absolutely. Tim Dobson played in the goals yesterday for Victoria, and he was the MVP for the game. Bit stiff to miss out, but when you've got the Australian goalkeeper as your backup, it makes sense to get him in there as quickly as we can.
Certainly, and we see the Victorian lineup, stars all over the field there. Of course, Quass missing, but plenty of players in there to fill his place. And the West Australian lineup, it's just as star-studded. Plenty of names across that field as well. Yeah, as we see that come up on the screen now.
And the names to look out for here, look at Devoy. He's going to be playing in that crease position. He starts off, comes in from the midfield, and then he'll go directly into that spot. Look to get feeds into him, and that's how they're going to score those quick little goals. Brock Beale, he'll be the Western Australians' #1 defensive matchup, you would imagine.
Yep.
You can imagine him going to James Lorison. He might even go to Marty Hyde. It'll be interesting to see who he matches up with.
Well, I think we're just about to get underway here. The team's lining up on the sideline, ready to go.
It's
Crowd
exciting.
building. The anticipation is building. So is the wind.
It is exciting. When it comes to championship day, there's a few little additions, which is different for the players too. They have to get used to it, and the start, you go from warm-up. I saw all of both teams warming up on the other fields, and they move over, and because there was a game earlier, there's a game before this, the teams have to warm up elsewhere and then bring it onto the field, and how they maintain that intensity it's always interesting and always a bit of a challenge for these teams, but experience across the board, you would imagine that they both cope fairly well.
No worries, we're just going to get our introductions underway.
And welcome everybody to the 2022 Senior Men's Final. Head referee today we have Tim Kennedy. Other referees Kim Panton and Rick Smisson. Chief bench official Danny Whitbourne and bench manager Steve Green. Heading out for Victoria, the goalkeeper Sean Aaron. Number 2, James Lawson. Number 4, River Bradley. Number 5, Noah Jenny. Number 6, Caleb Hall. Number 7, Lachlan McDonald. Number 8, Marty Hyde. Number 9, Peter Quass. And number 10, Chris Moffat. Number 11, Steve Stoikos. Number 12, Dylan Harari. 13, Campbell McKinnon. 14, Robbie Buckhorn. 15, Darren Ricketts. 18, Flynn Abrahams. 19, Sean Clark. 23, Ben Newman. 24, Lucas Parsons Quintiao. 30, Harry Potoknik. 32, Tim Dobson. 44, Jeff Melsop. 66, Al Glutney. And 81, Brendan Freeman. Coach today, Terry Sparks. Assistant coach, Chris Plum. And team manager, Wayne Butson. Good luck to the Vics. For Western Australia, we have number 2, Ryan Sparks. Number 3, Ashby Dennis. 4, Lucas Wood. 6, Jordan Gillespie. Number 7, Gene Bronkhorst. Number 8, Luke Walton. Number 10, Rhett Johnston. Number 11, Samuel Koswara. Number 13, Braden Panting. 16, Matt Devoy. 17, Liam Bryant. 18, Jaden Rodriguez. 22, Matthew Wood. 24, Lachlan Walker. 27, Benjamin Muxlow. 42, Lachlan Spickett. 48, Brock Beal. And 88, Ashby Farrell. Head coach today, Adam Jour de Saint-Jean. Assistant coach, Glenn Morley. And team manager, Nathan Forner. And good luck to the West Australian men's. And if we could all be upstanding for the Australian National Anthem.
We are back from our on-field presentation of the players and the anthem. Just a little couple of hiccups there, but we are back underway.
That was smooth. That was smooth. That was smooth. That was smooth.
Ran very well, and we're just moments away from the start of this final. So, Simon, we might test you. If we've got a prediction as we head into this one.
Oh, look, it probably won't get over 8 goals. Just going through the tapes, all of the big games. So WASA, Victoria, excluding the Minnows and the new teams, New South Wales and Queensland. No game so far been over 8 goals. Teams getting away with the wins. WA winning with 7 goals and 8 goals. So and Victoria doing the exact same. They're winning with 8 goals against the U21s and South Australia. So I am going to go with Victoria. I think they're humming at this point. I think they've figured out their game plan. They've figured out what they want to do. And I think the recency of Western Australia just being exposed yesterday, I think it makes it tough for them.
Certainly, and I think they found some struggles in the middle a little yesterday, Western Australia. So they're going to have to find a way to get on top there. Sean Clark has been fantastic in the middle this week, and they've got the backups in Lockie McDonald and Noah Jenny should they need to fall back on them as well. So plenty of options for Victoria. I'll echo your thoughts there, Simon. I think the team that the team defence that stands up the most, both keepers are fantastic, both Australian quality goalkeepers in Sean Aaron and Ryan Sparks. So I think we can expect big things from those, but whichever team defences can hold up the most, I think we'll be seeing them victorious and national champions in a couple of hours' time. Western Australia making their way out, followed by the Victorians.
The referee's about to have a little cordial chat. Would you be feeling the pressure if you're a referee here? What are you going to say to the boys?
Hopefully they're just enjoying it. I think some quality players out there. Let the lacrosse do the talking. I think that's what we hope from today, and I bet that's what they're hoping for as well. So Western Australia will attack the right of screen. Victoria will head to the left. Goalkeepers shake hand. It is not Ryan Spark that takes to the field. In fact, it's Rhett Johnston that looks like he's starting out there, Simon. So our first surprise a little early.
Interesting selection from WA. Ryan Sparks played so well for so long. I wonder what's motivated that, whether there's injury or... and I look over to the sideline and Ryan Spark, I can't see him unless he's hiding at the back there. Is there injury or illness, or you just hope that that's all okay?
Definitely, but a handy replacement in Johnston in the cage. So it'll be Clark and Wood that go head-to-head in the middle.
And then we look to the Victorian team. They've replaced Peter Quass, who was out injured, with Lachlan McKinnon. Another left-hander.
Left-hander, left for left. And we are underway. Clark wins the first face-off and goes to himself out to Caleb Hall. So the good start from Victoria to get us underway. Clark and Glutenay head to the box and replaced by Newman and Potocznik. They'll look to just keep this ball early. Call against the Vics there, so it'll head the way of Western Australia, their first possession of the match. Clear through the middle via Matt Wood. He's got Lorison in front of him, gets via that and past Marty Hyde. So down the wing for Matt Wood, down to Lucas Wood, and they'll head through X for the first time in this one.
A strong start from WA. They'd be really happy with that. We saw Sean Clark's early dominance in the face-off. Clean draw, clean win. To get the ball back is really important for Western Australia, and look to them to eat up a lot of time now.
So Matt Wood in possession, assesses his options on Potocznik, kicks to Kuzwara. I really like the look of him. He might be a big game player for this afternoon. Drive around from Panting, hits the deck, just wide.
Look for a lot of behind the cage attack from WA. They'll start the ball at X and look for them to drive up those lines, looking across for a feed across, and that's going to be the thing for them today. They need to get Sean Aaron moving and then look to get the shots as he's on the turn. Certainly.
Wood back at the top, tries to work through Potocznik. Good, solid, short stick defense. That's the cornerstone of a good offense, but Panting nearly by Moffat there. Forces a slide from Glutenay off of Kozwara, who gets free hands and lets the shot fly, missing again.
Frantic energy. Just needed that pass to be a little crisper so Kozwara could get the shot off a little earlier.
Not often you see Chris Moffat beaten one-on-one, but they don't pay the price for it on this occasion. We've got Jeff Melsop out there matching up on Lachlan Walker. We'll keep an eye on that one. That should be a fascinating matchup all day. So Panting will go once more on Moffat. He's beaten him on the inside, gets to the left, but Sean Aaron so good in there. Now Moffat's going to make him pay offensively. Gets on the carry, but well collapsed from Western Australia. Forces the ball back for the VICs, and they'll just settle on the clear now. Hall back to Aaron.
One of the strengths of that Victorian team is the clear. They're happy to be patient, and they've got lots and lots of speed all across the field. As we see it here, Caleb Hall moving through the team and runs into space and then off to substitution.
He's such a great clearer, isn't he, Simon? You just head down and he's an absolute workhorse, Caleb Hall. And whenever the ball's on the ground, more often than not, if he's there, he'll win it as well.
Here we go. Lawson looking to engage from behind.
Good check there from Dennis. And follows up. Keeps on him.
Now look at Victoria here. They've been running a really similar structure the whole week where they're getting a big sweep from across the top. So you look at Freeman and Ricketts playing up the top. They'll look to move the ball to Ricketts and then get maybe a sweep across. And here it goes. Chooses to go down the alley.
Gets a shot off. He's found the bottom left-hand corner, Darren Ricketts.
Strong
Victoria,
start.
one on the board.
Strong start from Victoria there. We saw that they're going to engage a lot from the top. They're going to get their midfielders involved really, really early.
And exactly like you said there, Simon, really well picked up. He just wanted that lane, drives hard, sweeps across the top, and great finish across the other side.
The Victorians loved that, didn't they? Really getting around them. It's really nice to get that early break.
And after a slow finish yesterday afternoon, Western Australia probably would have liked to have jumped out of the blocks a little quicker here. They had nice possession, but couldn't convert earlier. So Clark and Wood actually wins that and nearly taken by Glutenay, but Wood good enough to follow up his own work and win the ground ball down to Panting. Bradley now on Lucas Wood, driving on the left, gets top side and gets the shot off, but as he does so, Bradley lands the check. Such an experienced defensive lineup down there for the Vics, Simon.
Yeah, all multiple year Victorians on the field at the moment. That kind of experience, you just can't buy that.
Lucas Parsons-Quintier, a little cheek there to try and get the interception. Just tips it out of bounds on that occasion. Close but no cigar. Rodriguez, he was impressive yesterday. He's going to be important for them. Quick feet, moving down to Walker, gets the shot off and
what
through
a shot.
Sean Aaron. Lockie Walker, stick side high.
What a shot. What a shot. And look at that for WA. They're going to be looked to shoot really high. Sean Aaron, great goalkeeper. He tends to dip his feet a little bit early days. You see Rodriguez engage, draws all of the eyes, and then gets that ball movement, and then shot coming off the screen. We just had Glutenay, 66, just screening Sean Aaron there a little bit, and he was able to just fling it high. Saw it late, and that was it.
We see our first mix-up in the middle here, so Noah Jenny coming in for the Victorians for the face-off. See what sort of impact this may have. Jenny does win it forward in his first time on the ground. Back to Hall, but he'll have time. No possession called, so there won't be a WA player able to press from the back. And he's just got Kozwara in front to beat and does so. He's got a line to the goal now if he wants it, Caleb Hall, and he does so.
What a shot. Just do it like that. It makes it easy, doesn't it?
Fantastic finish there from Caleb Hall. The WA side just wanted to give him that lane, and they thought he was just going to take it all the way, and he thought, well, there's a little hole there. I'm just going to fill it quite nicely and put it away here.
Yeah, we look at the replay here, and there's just no help. He gets out in front of Kozwara, and there's just no help inside. WA probably need to clog that lane a little bit, but they've been seeing all week, Caleb Hall's had those opportunities, but he's opted to pass every time. Yep. So I think this time he's just been playing a bit of possum. Yeah, happy to put it in the top bin.
Sucked him in a little bit there, and it's paid off. Victoria regained the lead. And it's Jenny back in the middle for Victoria against Wood. And Wood keeps the ledger at 50-50. He's won that one. Melsop, he's got Footscray teammate Lucas Parsons-Quintier across the field and finds him on the outlet.
We see Potocznik streaming in from the box.
Pass
Parsons
inside to Clark, but just missing. We saw that a few times, Simon, that they weren't quite on a little bit, the Victorians at times yesterday. Occasions like that, just to pass a little too high. Not quite making it, but no damage done. They'll keep the ball.
Look for Victoria here for those sweeps from the top. They've got the ideal combo, Ben Newman and Potocznik. Little fake sweep.
So quick, so powerful, and that's not what the West Australians will be wanting to see. They'll be wanting to make sure Ben Newman can't be putting himself in those positions. Lorison tied up by Dennis. The double comes. They kick it high to Freeman. Engages and swings it around. Such great ball movement from Victoria. Kick back to Marty Hyde. Loves this tight spaces around the crease. He's got Farrell worrying him there, but Newman with the run up again. Gets a shot off. Stick side high. Good save there from Johnson.
Trying to use that screen from Ben Newman there. Probably need a little bit more lateral movement or to get the shot off a little earlier. I like the idea, though. I like the use of that screen. That's really, really smart play by Newman. Western Australia controlled through the clear. Take that ball to X. They'll always look to invert, send a play with a short stick down behind the goal.
Melsop and Walker once again.
Potocznik on Panting. Panting so dangerous. We spoke about him before the game. Look for him to try to take advantage of that matchup. Potocznik steps right up.
Beats him here. Shot on the left. Holds fire. Gets back on the right. And nice little piece there from Aaron. I'm not sure if he got that onto the bar as well. So either way, it's deflected out of bounds.
Real help from Bradley there. That was really, really saved the Vics on that one.
And the look inside from Walker. Intercepted from Melsop. He gets a piece on it down to the ground. Tight in and under. Who's going to come up with it? It's out off goal, so it'll go the way of Victoria. Be interesting to see how they try and clear the ball on this occasion.
Yeah, it seems like they're going back to their standard clear, which is a 3-3 wide. So you'll see the two players lined up with the goalkeeper. Two guys will then line up at about halfway, and they send their midfielders really deep. We see we've got McKinnon and Ricketts really, really deep, and they'll look to stretch the field. WA looking to jump, make them make those longer passes.
It's the right idea, but the Victorian long sticks are up to the task. Not too many times you'll see them miss those passes. Feed inside, just missing there. Can McKinnon keep it from going back and over? Of course, once you do, check it into your attacking restraining area. If you lose the ball into your defensive half, off a pass, it is a turnover.
Marty Hyde using that pick.
Big double team there from Farrell. Oh, he's got a loose ball push. I thought Hyde might have even had it in his stick there when that push came, but we'll let it go. Good call. Parsons Quintier coming from the box.
They immediately send a long pole to Parsons Quintier. We saw how dangerous he was in all of the other games. He's a really big initiator. Flag called. Lorison trying to take advantage of that free play. Vic to retain the ball. And we got Western Australia sitting down for 1 minute.
Yeah, so it's going to be Ashby Dennis sent to the box.
Little drizzle out there. The fans sticking fat out in the open. You love to see it. Look for Victoria to run a wheel here. So they'll send players into the middle and carry around the outside.
Clark down to Lorison. He's got free hands. Not often he misses here. James Lorison, you nearly back him 10 out of 10 times on that shot there. Just too much time, too much space. The West Australians couldn't rotate quick enough to get to him.
Take that to the bank. Take that to the bank. James Lorison one-on-one down low. You'd be looking at a plus 90%. We see the wheel here. Clark rotates that defense up, and Lorison just gets to do whatever he likes. He throws a couple of fakes, gets the keeper moving, and then puts it low in that bottom corner.
And it looks like the Victorians are pretty happy with the job Noah Jenny is doing in the middle, and they've sent Sean Clark down forward, so they'll play the right-hand attack setup now rather than with the two lefties.
Sean Clark, super smart player, captain of Williamstown, really experienced, playing at high level lacrosse. Be interesting to see how that will affect the balance and what he can do for them down there.
The ball just one into Western Australia's end, but Melsop too good in the middle. He's got 3 WA jerseys on him, so he just kicks down to Marty Hyde and says, your turn. Lorison now, looking for his second in a couple of minutes, and he's done it, James Lorison. Victoria right on top here, James Lorison with 2 goals in the space of a minute, and we're out to a 3-goal lead.
Victoria really must have watched the tapes from yesterday. They've seen you apply the pressure, and Western Australia, they're not so good on that unsettled situation. You see Lorison gets the ball and just moves straight into space, no help on the backside. Once again, James Lorison down low, hard to stop.
Change up in the middle for Victoria now. Lachlan McDonald in the middle. Matt Wood still doing the job for West Australia. Quite an even contest in there at the moment, and McDonald out to his Altona teammate in Campbell McKinnon. Such a great carrier with the ball, Campbell McKinnon. Just tucks it into his left hand and goes and goes and goes.
So much speed on that Victorian midfield line. It's going to be really tough. Ben Newman looks to initiate. Going to go right. Will he get the shot off? Moves it low.
They'd be pretty happy with where things stand at the moment, I think, Victoria. And no need to do anything too audacious at this stage. Just make that ball move, and they're right on top. Clark from the feed from Hyde. Puts it away.
What a connection. What a connection. That's the first of the feeding goals that we've seen. Really traditional feeding goals straight through the middle. We watch Clark come all the way from that backside. The ball will move from Freeman, goes down to Hyde, and watch Clark enter the screen, bottom left, moves straight to the ball. Little lapse on defence from Ben Muxlow. Needs to be playing tighter there.
A little bit of touch, didn't he? And just a quality player, Sean Clark. You can't be giving him that much space, and you make you pay the price.
It's really a bit stiff when you move your number 1 face-off guy to attack and he's still dominant.
Yeah, it's a killer, isn't it? But Matt Wood right on top in the middle, decides rather than going forward to go back, but puts his keeper under a fair bit of pressure. The Vics are pushing here and they've forced the dropped ball. Clark out to Lorison. He's got an empty net and he's missed it this time, James Lorison. Wow.
Lorison, I've been gassing him up the whole time. I'm saying he's lock it in. Absolute lock from that spot.
So we've got a timeout called, I believe, on, well, I'm not too sure who has called that timeout, but we're going to stop regardless.
We're going Victorian ball after that shot. Missed shot from Lorison on the open netter. Had too much space.
Well, we talked him up before he had the one-on-one look with the keeper, and we said, well, he's nearly a guarantee there. Empty net, you thought that might have been even easier, but I think the Victorians wouldn't be too upset with that. They'd be absolutely wrapped in terms of the pressure that they were applying on the clear there. Nice idea from Matt Wood to go back and win it from the face-off, try and keep the ball, but just the Vics were right on it like a flash.
Well, they didn't anticipate the pressure, did they? Usually you retreat back there, you know you're going to get that easy clear, you can set up again. But this time, Sean Clark, James Lorison really brought the heat, made them make those really dicey passes. Tough pass for keepers to make under 10 metres. And then Clark was on the defender straight away. Created a contest, and then it was up to Lorison to finish.
So the rain begins to fall again here at Angliss Reserve. Footscray Lacrosse Club hosting this Senior National Championships. They won't have too much longer to pull the trigger here, Victoria.
Setting up for one play.
Oh, good save there from Johnston. Just a little piece denying Hyde.
And that's the second good look off a cut that we've seen from Victoria. Western Australia really need to tighten up in the middle.
Clark beats his man, gets a shot off, misses again. And it will go the way of West Australia. They had the shot back up on that occasion. Clock is on the field.
You see our game clock not matched up with the scorer's clock, but pretty close.
Yep,
pretty close.
Just a couple of seconds out there, and that will be the end of the first quarter here. Victoria, they would be absolutely ecstatic with how things look. 5-1, should have been 6-1, late miss there, but 4-goal lead as we head into the first break. They would be pretty happy with how things stand, Simon.
Yeah, what a start for the Victorians. Really brought the pressure. We talked earlier that a lot of the times 8 goals will win you this game. They're already out to 5. That's pretty close. You see James Lawson with the 2 goals, really carbon copies of each other, one with contact, one without. Caleb Hall, transition goal. Darren Ricketts initiated. Sean Clark off the cut. So we've got all 5 goals, all done in completely separate ways.
Well, it's a little bit of an antithesis of what we were saying previously in the preview of this one. We've seen the low-scoring and hard-to-score moments throughout the week, but Vic's putting in 5 and started with this Darren Ricketts goal, driving hard down that lane, and they were pretty wrapped with that one. But just here you'll see Jeff Massop sagging off Lachlan Walker a little, giving him free hands, and Sean Aaron might have just on the move there, not quite trucking it down, but it was all Victoria from here. Caleb Hall, a heart and soul type player. He's been fantastic so far as well, Simon.
I've really liked the off-ball movement for Victoria. It's easy for us to say that Western Australia need to really sharpen up, but we look, there's not a lot of help coming because there's so much activity. You see, even on this man-up goal, there's so much activity to the right of screen that it makes that movement really difficult. And we'll see, especially on this next goal here, we initiate behind. You see everybody moves to the right of screen, which opens up a bunch of space for Lauriston to step around. That help has to travel too far. And then we see in this last goal from Clark, the ball moves low, and he's got a paddock because all of the movement is really working far away from the ball.
Certainly, and we're just moments from getting underway here. Jenny flicks it back to Hall, but Western Australia tie him up, but illegally, says our official, a hold. No, it's going the way of Western Australia. I thought Caleb Hall might have had a little hold on him there, but WA will take the ball forward now.
Melsop and Panting, really interesting matchup. Panting so dangerous. Melsop so resilient in defence there. He doesn't let much get past him. So it's going to be interesting to see if Western Australia continue to work through Panting and how they try to involve him in the game.
And the Vics have made the switch, Melsop to Panting, off Walker. So Panting got a little bit of the better of Moffat a couple of times in that first quarter. Perhaps that's why they've made the shift. Potentially better matchups here. Walker and Moffat, great runners. Melsop maybe matched a little bit better for size on Panting. As Walker kicks it around the top now.
Strong defence from Ben Newman. So far, so strong. Has been the whole time. Great push from Caleb Hall there behind. Immediate pressure from Victoria. Western Australia just running out of space there. Victoria going for the slow clear here. Sean Aaron trying to send people long. Opts for the shorter option. Victoria really happy to take their time here. Full field pass. No shot clock and no shot clock in this competition and no stall warnings. Really put on from that defensive portion of the field. Makes it really tough for that defending team. Here we go. We get some movement now. Moffat uses the legs. Moving through the middle. Melsop puts the pick down. Moffat off to the races. Fast break. What's he going to do? Looking to the goals. Shot. That's a real momentum swing for Victoria. If they can do that, it really puts their foot down. Great run from Moffat. Really excited. Lawson. Victoria just working hard to get their matchups. We've got that lefty-righty matchup right up the top for Victoria, setting up for that sweep.
You'd be nervous. Ben Newman and Campbell McKinnon sitting at the top there. You'd be pretty nervous about what's to come now. As Ben Newman, does he have a look? The lane clears a little bit for him, but just holds fire for the moment. Back to McKinnon.
Look for them to swap so that Ben Newman can sweep back to his right. McKinnon just to sweep to the left. And here we go. Starts to happen now.
McKinnon
Little flick. Ben Newman on the run.
drives down, but just patient build-up from Victoria. Parsons Quintier over to McKinnon. This is his favourite spot here. Does he go, Campbell McKinnon? Numbers present well for Western Australia to hold him up.
Sean Clark looks to engage behind. Sweeps around off Marty Hyde's leg there.
That's a little unlucky for Victoria, but that's not. Campbell McKinnon just reads that like a book and puts it across for Victoria's 6th goal.
That intense ride again from Victoria. Western Australia just not keeping up with the intensity of this game. We see Sean Clark start the engage there. He gets the shot. Ball bounces back into the middle. And then McKinnon with the intercept. Dangerous, dangerous pass. Trying to get that ball into the middle for WA. You need to be sending that to the boundaries or much longer.
Yeah, it shows when you want to go through the middle, you have to be exact. You have to have that 100% pass. It can't be anything less. McDonald in the middle. Wood this time. He's been good today, Matt Wood, in the face-offs. He struggled a lot yesterday against the South Australians, but he's it'd be about 50-50, I would have thought, at the moment. As WA just work the ball around.
Interesting no Devoy for WA. Played a lot of game time yesterday. They've opted for the more mobile offense, players in and out.
Good save there from Sean Aaron. Gets down low and he's got Hall on the outlet. There won't be a fast break because I think the West Australians have collapsed well, but he's going to go himself and the slides don't come. He just goes all the way himself. Caleb Hall diving across the crease, and doesn't he love it? The West Australians probably would have wanted to take that one back. They had numbers everywhere, but Caleb Hall said, what numbers?
Hungry. Just got hungry. Loved the opportunity the first time. We see he takes on the dodge in open space. He's really, really hard to stop. And because he's moving so fast, if that slide's not coming with the body, he's going to run straight through it, gets the diving goal. What a shot.
And the Vic's just really with a strong hold on this one at the moment. Nervous times for Western Australia. We've still got plenty of time, but they have heaps of work to do. Huge hit there from Parsons Quintier on Wood in the middle, and he's down behind the player, Matt Wood. He hasn't
Stop clock there.
gotten up. We're going to hold the clocks for a moment.
We might see if we can organise a replay for that one, just to see if...
He is just down a little bit at the moment, Matt Wood.
Big hit from Parsons Quintier.
The trainer is heading out there, and we've got, as we said yesterday when Peter Quast went down, we do have some fantastic medical staff on hand. Let's hope Matt Wood is all right here.
Always really tough for those face-off guys trying to extract themselves from that centre play.
Yeah, often bodies flying left, right and centre, and he's just been caught up on that occasion.
The helmet's off there. They're just letting him recover.
He is moving, which is obviously positive. Tim Kennedy, the lead referee, has just instructed the teams that we might be having a little extended break here. So the Victorians head back to their huddle, and they'd be pretty happy with where things stand. He's sitting up now, Matt Wood, which is positive. Back on his feet. Looks a bit groggy, potentially a concussion on our hands here. It's hard to know, but he's going to head to the box to be assessed, and claps from
the crowd, which is really tough for WA too, because if we're talking player sense, he was starting to get on top in the face-off there. There was a lot of pressure mounting for Victoria to try to keep that ball. We obviously see the physical nature of Victoria on those scrappy, loose balls. It's going to be interesting to see how WA combat that. We can assume that he'll be out at least for a little while, possibly the game.
So we'll keep you posted on Matt Wood's condition as more information comes to light. But as we get back underway, 9 minutes to play in this second quarter. Victoria in control, leading 7-1. And they've sent their preferred offense out there on the restart. Parsons Quintier wants that left hand, but goes down the right. So just kicks down to X. Now through Clark again. Such a versatile player, as we said earlier, Sean Clark. Having set up in attack now. Parsons Quintier. Back through Clark. And they'll just keep this ball on the move. Hyde. Up to McKinnon. Defence holding strong here for Western Australia for the moment. They'd be more pleased with how things stand after this set, but the feed comes inside to Freeman, and just once again too much space there for the Victorians, and Brendan Freeman puts that away. The game is now out to 8-1.
Look at Sean Clark change the dynamic of this offense too. He's always looking inside, such a good passer. We see Hyde engages, and Clark takes advantage, steps to the backside, makes some movement. Freeman just dips just behind his defender and gets a really relatively easy goal there. But Sean Clark, the addition of him to that offense has made it such a passing threat. Western Australia being exposed on the backside continuously here.
Yeah, just some ball watching in there for the West Australian defence. Not what they want. Trailing by 7 goals now. And the Vics have won it forward again. There's no possession call, so Clark, just his first little misstep of the match, really. He's broken the restraining line, so it will go the way of Western Australia. Good collapsing D there from Victoria, but
Flag's thrown.
I think we've had it's just a timeout, I think, Simon, just before they lost possession there. So
see what the referees are going to do here, whether or not they'll say that that foul happened before the timeout call or afterwards. Obviously, with that, Sean Clark, a little indiscretion there, just stepped over the white line. That's the restraining line, using the white lines today, and then the black lines will be for the women's grand final later on.
Certainly. And Clark will, pardon the pun, but he hadn't really put a foot wrong before that, and that's all it was. It was just a foot.
Very good.
That's about as far as he's gone wrong today.
Actually, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what Western Australia do out of this. We'll just interesting to see what Western Australia do out of this now. It'll be interesting. They're going to try to eat up a lot of clock now, I think. They need to get a little bit of control back into their game. Obviously down 8-1, and we've seen throughout the week 8 goals has been the magic number. So I think it's going to be pretty tough for Western Australia from this point on. But geez, if they come back, it'll be a good game.
Well, we saw yesterday in the West Australia-South Australia game, Simon, it wasn't 7 goals, but South Australia had plenty of work to do. They looked dead and buried, and they came out a different side after halftime. So anything's possible, and they'll probably just be wanting to get to the break without much more damage done. WA maybe cut this lead down again. So we've got Brendan Freeman sitting down in the box, so the Vics will start this man up. I'm not sure if it was a 30-second or minute. I'm not sure if you saw that, Simon.
No,
but
I didn't see it either.
They'll be man down for at least 30 seconds.
Western Australia, man behind the goal. They're in 1-3-2 formation. They'll look to involve the guy behind the ball, Lachlan Walker. Look to involve him in the play.
Rodriguez down to Kuzwara. He's got Walker on the crease. Needs to get this ball moving quickly again. But the Vics just look so comfortable on this man down. Good shot there from Gillespie, but good piece from Aaron to keep it out. And it was only a 30-second foul because we're back to 6-on-6.
Ricketts on the field, evens the matchup. Great shot from Gillespie. Love the use of the screen there. But in that man up, they need to be moving the ball quicker. You see, you've got that man advantage. More men than Victoria around the goal. Move the ball. Draw a player, move the ball. We've got a flag on the field here. Unsure what that's come from. Walker, not enough curve on that one. We've got a 30-second penalty from Victoria here. Just a little mix-up in the middle there from Caleb Hall, I think. Just a little bit of contact in front of the goal.
So they'll get another look at it. WA, and they're 2 men up just momentarily. Victoria making the substitution, and they're going to pay the price because Lachlan Walker's put in his second goal and West Australia's second goal to keep them in this contest. Crucial goal there for WA.
Taking a real advantage of the mix-up for Victoria. You see on the screen here, only 4 players. They've got a person substituting in from the box. They take real advantage, trying to cover that middle player. Too much space for Walker down low.
Just a miscommunication there from Victoria. I haven't seen that too often.
You wonder if it's worthwhile just leaving the player. They might not be as experienced in that position, but all players at this level are going to be fairly competent.
Exactly right, Simon. As Jenny into the middle now, gets the better of... That's Bryant in there, but Walker's come up with it.
Glutenate,
No, he
great
hasn't.
ground ball, stepping in. Off the bar. Another opportunity for the long pole.
We just saw Ashby Dennis just stepping in, giving his keeper a little hand there as well to cover up some of the cage. So WA putting their body on the line for this one, but West Victoria right in control. Newman, now Potocznik.
Potocznik and Newman looking to get to their strong hands. Look for a big sweep on Potocznik going left here. Maybe the next time around.
Got 3 lefties out there for the Vics. Marty Hyde here now. Good D there from Farrell. But he's lost his man now, and he's got it, lost a step, and Marty Hyde, big save there from Johnson. That was crucial. Farrell was gone for all money, and he's down behind the play. Just a little slip. We probably could have let that one go. I don't think
he was injured, just
injured there.
defeated, I think.
Yep. So he's going to have to, because we did stop the play for him, he'll have to head to the bench and just rest up for a little bit.
Great move from Marty Hyde there. Stepped in, made it look like he was going over the top, and then just came back underneath. Farrell kept going.
So for WA, crucially, it slows things down and gives the Vics time to set up defensively. Lorison and Clark keeping an eye on Walker. Now Lorison just with Walker in front of him. Uses his pace to try and outrun Lorison, but can burn over the top. Little high there on Muxlow from Newman. Let go. Wood. He'll go down and get the ball behind the cage.
2-8 here. Just over 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Western Australia really need to capitalise on this possession.
Walker, the goal scorer, the sole goal scorer for Western Australia, and looks like he wants to go again.
Buckhorn on defence for Victoria. Stepped in.
He will do. Lachlan Walker, shot missing wide. WA bring the ball back in, feed in to Devoy. Your man, Simon Lovett. And as soon as he's out here, he's put one in the back of the net.
Get him in, people. Get him in. Get him in. You see big presence in the crease there. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Great goal from Matthew Devoy. We see Western Australia just really slow. The Vics finding some space. Great take, great finish. Low angle shot. Takes it low, puts it high.
And good off-ball play from Western Australia, really tying up the Vic defence there. And it's Liam Bryant that stepped in to replace Matt Wood in the middle for these face-offs. We've got a break on Bryant though, so it'll be McDonald that wins it on this occasion and moves it forward to Clark, and they'll swing it around to Hyde.
Victoria send McKinnon and Freeman from the box.
Parsons Quinty out through Hyde, now down to Lorison. With just under 2 minutes to play, Victoria would be pretty comfortable with where things stand at the moment. McKinnon, he won't say to another one. Good save there from Johnston once again, down behind the cage to Lorison. Fakes one and puts the foot down on the left. Is there a hold there on Dennis? It will be. So Lorison just missing the pass to Parsons Quintia, but it'll be 30 seconds, I would believe, on Ashby Dennis.
Great initiation from McKinnon there. He just went left, always going left. You need to look to Western Australia to step out into that space coming off the pick. You'll always see top right will come in, plant that pick. We need his defender to step out into that space. We all know where he's going. We all know where that shot's coming from. Let's try to fill that space.
So we get a look at a short man up here, Victoria. McKinnon, he's got a good spot there, but they'll just keep it swinging around. Clark. Parsons Quintier wants it at the top, and he'll get it shortly. Pass, not fantastic. And he just had to reach a little low and try to shoot it from that position. Just rolling wide. Lorison, sorry. Up to Clark. Newman zips on across to Campbell McKinnon. Plenty of time there for Campbell McKinnon. And just too much time and space once again for the Victorians, and they'll say, thank you very much.
Beautiful skip pass by Newman there. You see the whole field opens right up. Ben Newman, years of experience, absolutely burying shots from that top right. Makes WA nervous. McKinnon wide open. You see how many players draw. And that's the benefit you have when you've got big shooters like Parsons Quintier and Ben Newman up the top. Defenses need to honour that. You saw the player steps out to cover Parsons Quintier, and then opens up the passing lane.
Just threats all over the ground for Victoria. Campbell McKinnon's second of the quarter. And Wood is back out there. That's a great sign for the West Australians. Glutenay taken away there, but Rodriguez has just pushed it out of bounds slightly there. Great to see Matt Wood back out on the pitch.
And wins the first face-off.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Really impressive. Really, really impressive. Hall with the ball now, using that speed again.
They know there's not too long, so they're going to have to pull the trigger soon. They do, looking for Potocznik in the middle, but pass just a little wayward. I think we'll see WA just heave it up the field here.
Clock out on the field.
Rodriguez will have to move the ball quickly. The box is telling him, send it upfield.
Oh, off the pipe.
Just a pipe there. There were players all over the crease and just beaten Sean Aaron. I'd fair to say, I think if that was on the cage, it might have found the back of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It just completely missed it. Really, really interesting. I'm not quite sure what happened. I mean, dangerous play by Western Australia. Put it to the hot spot. See how we go.
Fantastic. Well, Victoria, they couldn't ask for much more as they head into the main break. If you said you're going to be leading 9-3 at halftime of the championship final, they would have said, thank you very much, Bill, we'll take that. As we see the goal scorers, Lorison, 2 to his name, should have had a third. Caleb Paul, 2 really impressive goals in transition. Just fantastic work from him. And Campbell McKinnon, 2 goals in that quarter. Ricketts, Clark and Freeman, the other scorers.
I really like the spread of goal scorers for Victoria. You see that they're not going all through the one source. Lorison, probably majority of the instigating in the offensive end for Victoria. Between him and Marty Hyde, we have a look at the goals. What a finish by McKinnon. Just a real opportunistic goal there. Great stick skills. Sends the ball high. The Vics love it.
Yeah, and for WA, it was Walker with 2 and your man Devoy with the other. But Caleb Paul, what an impressive effort this was. He's just so tough when he has the ball in his stick, and it's so difficult to take it away from him. We see this feed on the inside, and Freeman, nice movement into space. A lot of these Victorian players have played a lot of box lacrosse, so you can tell that in those tight spaces, they're quite impressive and comfortable with their sticks in close.
This is Walker. Great finish down the bottom there. Just Victoria, little lapse in judgment on their transition and on their substitutions, opened up a lot of space.
Yeah, back-to-back goals for the West Australians. Your man, you were calling for him to get back out there. Big Matty Devoy. And as soon as he takes to the pitch, he puts one away. So would you like to see more of him, Simon?
Always, always. Feed the man, I say. Get it to him. He's just a bit of a calming presence down there for WA. I think while he's on the field, he provides a really nice anchor for the team as well. I think when they take him out, they do have a lot of options on the outside, but I think from that, they seem to be paralysis from analysis, I think.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
They've got a lot of options, a lot of dodging. They don't really know who's going to initiate. and they're not getting that same drive. I think when he's in there, provides that presence. We know what's in the middle, and you see the stick skills and the finishing ability. It just gives them a really solid foundation in the middle. It makes that Victorian slide have to honour the middle. Whereas prior to that, I don't think we were seeing that. They were sending players early. The initiating dodge gets double teamed. They can't find the next pass. It makes that goal scoring a little bit more difficult.
Definitely. And for Western Australia, we did see a big hit on Matt Wood in the early stages of that second quarter. Saw him return to play towards the end there, so good to see him back out there. I'm sure that the medicos would have cleared him of any serious injuries, so good to see him back out and about in front of us. So we've got some, I believe it's under 12 or under 10 Footscray players out there, the future generations of the sport. Fantastic to see them enjoying their time out on the big stage.
Yeah, it's a great initiative from Footscray Lacrosse here, our hosts for this national tournament, to give the kids a little chance. There's a big crowd here. This is the equivalent of playing on the G for lacrosse. It's so exciting.
Plenty of mums and dads on the sidelines with their phones out, capturing a moment that they'll remember for a lifetime, I'm sure of that.
This is how you get kids to love the game, isn't it? Especially at this early age. The skills are less important. Important because it makes it a little bit more enjoyable, but you just want that love for the game, and these kids are loving it. It's great.
Certainly, Simon. Well, as we continue through the halftime break, Western Australia, plenty to think about after halftime when they come out for the third quarter.
What do you want to see from them, Lockie?
Well, I think the ball in the middle is so important for them. Continuing to be on top there, giving them opportunities with the ball. I think attack-wise, they haven't been too bad, but they just haven't played enough of it. So continuing to win that ball from the middle and giving them chances, I don't think that's the issue at the moment. It's defensively, and I think you were touching on it before, just far too much time and space for these Victorian players. And you said it, you give them an inch and they'll take a mile. So if you're not concentrating in your ball watching and loose off your man, they'll make you pay the price. So just sharpening up a little bit there, and we're a little bit harsh on them, but we know that they can do it, and we've seen it already. So just stepping up to that standard that they know that they can do, and seeing that come into place here. A couple of late goals there really keeps them in it. 6 goals is a big ask, but it's certainly not impossible.
Certainly not impossible. You've really nailed it there. I think it is because we've seen them do it. I don't know if they've handled the increase in intensity from Victoria. A very different Victorian team from the first time they played them. Victoria ready. They've really sharpened up over the last week, and you can see their passes are really crisp, their movement's really crisp, and that's why we're seeing a lot more of those passing goals. I think that's probably caught Western Australia unawares. Just on that backside coverage, they're going to have to really tighten up that one-on-one defense. We see Hyde and Lawson really starting to engage and put the foot down.
And you might have seen just a moment ago, leaving the West Australian huddle, a number 2 jersey with a goalie stick heading towards the cage for a warm-up. So we've got Ryan Spark in the cage warming up for the West Australians. Be interesting to see if he'll jump in there or not.
It's a really interesting choice. It's a really interesting choice. He's been playing really well all week. It looks like he's going to stay down there. It would be interesting to find out the thinking behind not starting him in the side.
Definitely, yeah. Rhett Johnson does have the helmet off and looks to be pretty comfortable over there. So it looks like Ryan Spark is ready to go, and we're nearly ready to go. The under 10s and under 12s leave the pitch. Fantastic work from them. I'm sure that they would have had an absolute ball out there in the middle of half-time of the 2022 Senior National Championships, the men's final.
Time for a hot dog for the kids, I reckon.
Sounds pretty good.
Yep. Scored goals. Now go and feast, kids. That's how it works, I think.
And Victoria, well, they're pretty happy with how their right-hand setup looks down in attack. They're going to stick with Sean Clark, James Lorison and Peter Cross. Marty Hyde. Peter Cross, of course, not playing. And Lockie McDonald to start in the middle. And we're just about to get underway in the second half here. Face off, one from McDonald, beats Wood. But good pressure from Wood, forces the turnover. Well done there from Walton, but the Vics hustle and force the ground ball. Hall just being held there, so after the VICs, the West Australians did well to force a ground ball scuffle in the middle. It is the Victorians that will have the first possession of the second half.
Great play from Luke Walton there. Just a different type of approach, covering that pass, not letting Caleb Hall get a free look at it. I mean, they ended up with the ball, the Vics, but it's yeah, a bit of a more contested situation for Western Australia.
I think that's all you can ask for. Caleb Hall, just a superstar in the middle there, and you get to see that you even halve the contest and he still comes up with it. So that's just how difficult things can be to play on him.
Look for Potocznik to attack this short stick here. Moves to the right, down the alley. Kick back, another danger here, McKinnon.
He's a real threat down there, Campbell McKinnon. Doesn't mind a low angle shot. So even when you do push him wide, he doesn't mind getting it off. And just a little pop over the crease. A great feed inside from Clark once again.
Clark looking to engage from behind. A lot of off-ball movement.
Great defense there from Koswara, just getting it in and under and staying on top of his man.
McKinnon drives down the right-hand side. Looks to kick back. Potocznik looking to take advantage of the short pole. Fumbles.
Newman chases hard on Walker, but he's off to the races. Kicks across to Panting. Does he draw the foul or... He draws the foul and scores the goal. Does both.
¿Por qué no las dos, my friend?
Fantastic start for Western Australia. Braden Panting scoring there first, and we're going to see the Victorian head to the box in Chris Moffat. It'll be a slash on him, so he's going to sit down for a minute. This is the perfect start for Western Australia.
Yeah, just no backside help. Similar to the Caleb Hall goal from earlier. If you can, in transition, draw the player and then move past them, you're moving into space.
And you can just see how much turning the ball over in the middle of the ground absolutely kills you. We saw Potocznik just a little fumble there, and certainly just down that alley. And we just got a ball in the back of the net.
I think we've got the ball in the back of the net.
So, yeah, that turnover there, and Walker was just straight down the dangerous part of the ground. Jenny back in for Victoria, but WA getting on top here. Well won there from Mark Slow.
Taking advantage of that man up opportunity. They had no help out on this side for Victoria. Jenny went forward, probably should have tried to keep it to himself, but just a little bit too much juice.
Koswara, you can feel that maybe they're up and about a little bit now, the West Australians, just the start that they were looking for. They'd be absolutely dying for another on the man up here. Koswara kicks around to Walker on that crease. Lucas Wood on the other crease. Fantastic take, and the West Australians, they're up and about now, cutting the margin back to 4 goals.
Look at that. Look at that. 3 minutes in, and they've got 2 goals already. That's the way Western Australia want to start. Lots of fast ball movement there. Get Victoria rotating. We see they move the ball low. The rotation comes, and they just weren't able to cover on the backside. And Wood was all open. Great catch, great finish.
Back to 10v10 out there with the penalty released, but cutting the margin back to 4. This is exactly what the West Australians would have been hoping for. And they look much more comfortable in the middle, Simon, and Wood on top of McDonald there. Wins the ground ball, turns back and with the one-handed pass to Spark. Pressure comes from Lorison, so he just has to heave it across to Beale, who's up to the task. Put on from Clark, but great hustle there from Clark as he copped one in the back. No, play on. Dennis sends it back to Spark. Pressure comes from Lorison. That's heaps better work from the West Australians, really standing up to the pressure from WA.
Pass through the middle. Malsop gets it, moves it on to Parsons Quintier for a transition. Will they attack early or are they going to slow it down? Parsons Quintier looks inside and they pull it out. It's time to slow it down for Victoria.
The numbers there for West Australia. They'll go through the X, Clark, Lorison. Now, all of a sudden, the Victorians maybe just wanting to settle things a little bit, set that tone that they had in the first half, regather that momentum.
It's been a little frantic early days, which is it's exciting to watch for the fans and the viewers at home.
Clark back up the top to Newman. He gets a wind up, steps down. Well defended there from Brock Beale. Lorison. So what will be interesting on the next face-off, Simon, is whether the Victorians consider going with Sean Clark in the middle again. Wood just getting on top a little bit now, so an option potentially for them. Parsons Quintier down the right-hand side. Back up to Newman. So dangerous here. Onto the left, gets the shot off, pulls it across the body, and they've got the back up, so they will keep possession. Of course, on the shot, it's not the last touch. It is whoever was closest when the ball went out.
Victoria doing a great job of getting those shots, but also getting the ball back, which is really important. It allows them to just build the pressure on Western Australia, and then hopefully they're looking for them to crack at the end. Clark looking to engage from behind the goal.
He's got Panting as the matchup. Gets
Leans
in
inside.
and under. Just using your size to the advantage there, Clark of the undersize, just getting under Panting.
I really like the move from Ashby Dennis there. He just stepped into that space, just made Clark a little bit more self-conscious about whether he's going in there.
So the Victorians still putting plenty of shots on, but just not quite nailing it at the moment.
A little stop clock.
He's going to pause the clock for now.
Ball's returned. Here we go. Look for Parsons Quintiao and Ben Newman. Ben Newman engaging on the long pole. Fake
Fakes
switch.
the flip.
Shot, goal.
They did not read that well at all, the West Australians. They thought it's coming to Lucas Parsons Quintiao. Loaded the numbers that way, and Ben Newman has had that whole lane open up to himself and just drives so well.
And so did you see all the players go with Parsons Quintiao? Such an aggressive move off the ball. Ben Newman really happy with that. Happy to let Western Australia know just what happened. Just that the game's not slipping away as much as they think it is.
Keeps the lead out at 5 as we approach the halfway mark of this third term. The premiership quarter, some say.
Big fight in the middle here.
Jenny using all of his strength to keep that ball the way of the Victorians, but WA have hustled on the possession. The players have been released from their restraining lines, and it is Marty Hyde that collects it this time. Good swim move to get out of trouble.
Lots of numbers for Western Australia. That's what they need. That's what we didn't see in the first half. Getting back into that transition play really clogs it up. We've got Potocznik on the field. We've got a flag called offside for Western Australia.
Straight from the box, and he's going to go pull the trigger straight away inside to Clark, but unable to hit the target this time. So we saw 2 flags thrown. I'm not sure if they were the same foul or not. We'll wait for our call from Tim Kennedy. So that's the offside call for 30.
Same penalty, I think.
Yep, same flag. So
I did look down, and there was a lot of gold down there, and that's why I'm gassing them up, saying that they're doing a great job of getting back. They were too excited getting back.
Well, it's one way to stop them, send the 7th player down.
Now we've got those big shooters at the top. Parsons Quintiao, Ben Newman.
Gets the shot low into the ground, but that's not the one he'll be looking for.
Ball to the back with Lorison. Look to Victoria to initiate from the bottom here. They get a nice little wheel. Draw that attention. Bounce shot. McKinnon, what a shot from deep.
3rd goal of the match for Campbell McKinnon. And on that left side, just too many times, he's been able to get free hands, and more often than not, he'll put it away. The Victorians recapture the momentum in this one, and they'll be feeling pretty comfortable right about now with everything coming their way.
You just see that again, a lack of rotation from Western Australia. They needed to bring the bottom guy high. Instead, they had their top players trying to play too many guys. Couldn't get back across. McKinnon, easy shot. He's going to make that all day.
Looked like a little break there on Matt Wood, so it will head the way of Victoria and Lockie McDonald.
I just look at Matt Wood. He seems to be carrying that arm. I wonder if he's carrying an injury through the rest of this game.
Yeah, he certainly has been managed. He's just out there for the face-offs and hasn't spent too much more time out on the field. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does have an underlying injury there, Simon. As Victoria, there was just a little blip earlier in the quarter, but they're right back on top now. Potocznik wanted the shot, Looks inside now. Lorison is wide open. Fantastic play there from Harry Potocznik. He just wanted to get the shot off, settled, waited for his man to come around the crease, and James Lorison was there waiting.
That shooting threat from Victoria can't be understated. We see Potocznik about to take the ball. He's going to split left. He gets the opportunity to shoot right there, carries. Ashby Dennis caught sleeping on the backside. Lorison, really smart play. Finds the underside of the goal there. And once again, James Lorison down low with no players, put in the bank unless there's no goalie.
And we're out to a game-high 7-goal lead now. Victoria right on top. WA just probably needing to back their teammates a little bit more one-on-one, just not sloughing in as much. Push there on, I think it's going to be on Noah Jenny, so it will go the way of Western Australia. Rodriguez. Feels like the first time in some time that WA have had the ball. Lucas Wood.
See Jordan Gillespie moving with a bit of a limp there. Wood engages, tries to get it around.
Bradley bringing the heat as he turned that corner. Rodriguez has Gillespie at the top, but wants to take the short stick of Caleb Hall. The slide comes from Jenny. Panting. Draws the Bronx cheers from the crowd as that one flies well wide, but contact on the shot. They will keep it on the backup. Walker with Wood to his help.
Knockdown from River Bradley there. Just caught it straight out of the air. Nothing more frustrating.
And goes a
Big pressure.
big hit there. Caleb Hall. Wood just picking up the ground ball, and that's not what you want to see once you've turned your head. But they have maintained possession here, Western Australia.
Melsop with speed covering. We've got the shorty match up here. Kozwara looks for the underhand, turns inside, makes it inside, finishes a shot high. Great finish from Kozwara.
That was the matchup that they've been looking for, trying to utilise the attack on that short stick. And Caleb Hall, just a little slip, lets him pass. Huge from Western Australia. Absolutely needed that one.
You see Kozwara there on that dodge. He initiates from behind on the short stick. There's no help from Victoria. Plenty of space. Makes it inside. As soon as he beats that one-on-one, Caleb Hall left hanging out to dry from his Victorian teammates there.
I think the Vics probably wouldn't be too unhappy there. They'll back their teammates in to win that one-on-one contest, and not too often you'll see Caleb Hall beaten there. Lockie McDonald starting to get on top again in the middle, out to Parsons Quintiao. He's beaten Muxlow. Fast break opportunity now. Across to Hyde, just couldn't complete it. Farrell, he's got pressure coming from Freeman, gets out of that one, kicks up the line, and have they got the fast break now? Western Australia panting. The plays collapse well from Newman and Parsons Quintiao, so they'll just settle. But Walker has free hands. No one comes at him. Just Melsop giving him a little too much space there. Sean Aaron's good, but I'm not sure you want to be letting them let go from there. Wood, that's not the shot that they'll be wanting to take. Just sits up easily for Aaron, and he's got Hyde on the outlet. Ball doesn't bounce kindly for him, so Dennis gets the chance to send it back. It's just been up and back the last minute or so.
I do like the speed Western Australia bringing to this game now. They need to start initiating earlier. They're going to run out of time otherwise.
Yep, have to go at it with full intensity.
They slow it right down now. They get settled.
Walker.
You look around at who's got the matchups. Kozwara on Newman, the short stick. And you've got Panting on Parsons Quintiao, also another short stick. Look for Panting to engage. There it is. Involves the short stick. Kozwara moves in on Newman. Looks to take his time. Looks to draw a slide.
Kozwara gets the shot off, but it's a yard sale. Ben Newman gets the stick in the way there and says, no chance, son. I'm going to take it up the field now. Huge effort there from Ben Newman defensively. Gets it down to Lucas Parsons Quintiao, and that one's just a wild one. I think we're going to have a timeout for the Victorians.
They'll look to set something up here. I wonder, we've got under a minute to go. It'd be interesting who they put out on the field. They're obviously going for one set play. I do really like that intensity from Western Australia. I think they're going to have to start engaging. They probably need to keep moving the ball, and that's always the tricky part, is when you up the intensity, can you maintain the principles that of your team and the way that you score goals? We've seen the people that like to attack, Panting, Kozwara, Wood from behind. Can we keep those guys involved, keep them looking for passes, but do it at a faster pace? Can we initiate a little bit earlier?
Definitely.
Victoria playing with house money at this point, 6-goal lead late in the third, going into the fourth. All they need to do, they just need to keep rolling along.
Definitely, and I think that's the problem for Western Australia. They played so much better in this quarter, but if you're coming from 6 goals down to give yourself that sort of handicap, it's going to be tough.
We see the lineup of Victorians moving back onto the field. We've got Clark, Lorison, Hyde down low. Then we've got McKinnon, Parsons Quintia and Ben Newman. A lot of outside heat for Victoria. Watch Western Australia. They're going to have to push out a little further than they're probably comfortable. Look for that backside pass from Victoria to someone down low, similar to their previous goal. See, Clark takes it in that back corner.
And the pressure out on Lucas Parsons Quintia. The West Australians don't want the ball in his stick, so they'll let it swing around the other way now. Lorison under heat. Is there a moving pick there from Clark? No, he gets around him. Lorison feeds inside, bouncing to McKinnon, just can't quite sit. Beale, great ground ball, gets out of trouble. The numbers come, however. Hyde brings the pressure. Beale just has to heave it into the middle of the field, and that is the worst case scenario, but there is a flag. That's why he just let it go.
Got out of jail there, Western Australia. Really another dangerous pass to the middle of the field, but it was after a slash, so you do get that leeway. You got the free pass, you can make it through, knowing that you're going to get the ball back.
Certainly so. With the flag thrown and just 2 seconds remaining on the clock, Western Australia will just keep the ball. And they'll start in possession in the final quarter. They trail at 12 goals to 6 with 15 minutes to try and cut that deficit down in this men's championship final. Victoria still right on top.
Brilliant intensity from Victoria. We see, again, Campbell McKinnon adds more to his tally. Ben Newman on the score sheet as well. We see Western Australia, Kozwara adds to the tally for the WA team, and then Lachlan Walker, he puts on another score as well. Western Australia, look, they're under the pump at this point. Got to make up 6 in that last quarter. It's going to be really exciting if they do it. They're going to have to move very quickly. They'd be looking to get 2 goals out of this initial man-up opportunity, I think.
Well, they've done the bare minimum. They've done exactly what they needed. They've tied the quarter, so they haven't made it any worse. And they started the quarter fantastically. Braden Panting getting things off to an absolute flyer, and then followed it straight up. Lucas Wood coming around this crease and finding himself wide open. Good finish.
It was the perfect start for Western Australia that third quarter. We felt the pressure mount until the Victorians got the ball, and they were able to set up a lot. Ben Newman with this little fake switch here, draws the player, and then he just gets a full run at it. That's almost unstoppable.
Yeah, and just WA getting sucked into the trap of that Lucas Parsons Quintia threat, and then it was Victoria getting right back on top. Huge shot there from Campbell McKinnon. He's got 3 for this afternoon, and he has certainly had a day to remember. And then Pachocik looking across, and Lorison puts that one away.
And that goal's been a real tale of the tape for today, with Victoria really happy to draw and feed, more so than the other days. And this was a great move by Kozwara, one-on-one. As you were saying at the time, though, Victoria probably happy to take that matchup. Caleb Hall, one of the best short stick defenders in the country. More times than not, you're happy to let him go.
We're back underway now as the West Australians man up. Starts at the top with Panting and now Kozwara.
Moffat happy to apply the pressure.
I wouldn't be surprised if we say Braden Panting trying to put a few shots on cage. Trying to really force the Victorians here.
Movement from Western Australia now.
The shot comes from Gillespie this time, though.
Off a stick. You see Moffat really disrupting the flow of that Western Australian man up. He's stepping out on Lockie Walker. Skip pass from Western Australia. Screen shot. Sends it wide.
Hall arriving strong there. Pushed as he shot it. Panting. He's got Kozwara wide open, but good piece there from River Bradley. It was a dire effort because Sam Kozwara had found himself wide open in the middle.
Victoria under pressure here. Release from the box, so we've got even numbers if they can find the short stick. They've opted to slow it right down, sending 2 to the back corner.
And with a 6-goal lead, there's no need to do anything too over the top. You hear the call from their attack line, get out of the middle. They don't want to go through that dangerous corridor. Let's keep the ball on the wings, down the side channels. Malsop has found himself, or nearly found himself open down one of those wings. Moffat wide open, so many times we see this, just runs and carries, but there's no Vic's back for him, so he has to take it back.
Really slow and controlled clear from Victoria there. That was really well done, really measured, great communication. Tough to ride that.
Hyde engages and kicks behind. Just a little sloppy there from James Lorison, but tidies up after himself. Dennis keeps it on him. Kick back to Clark. He's got Kozwara guarding from behind. Dangerous spot for the short stick defender. Sean Clark just didn't quite get around enough. So the shot misses wide. We pause the clocks for a moment. Back underway.
Ben Newman looking to attack, goes down the alley onto the left. Moves it to Parsons Quintier on the left as well. Ripping shot from outside. What a shot.
Lucas Parsons Quintier, and we saw that the WA side were worried about him before, and with good reason.
Ben Newman opens up a paddock of space. Parsons Quintier with the long pole. Too much separation, hands free, rips it top bins.
And I think if it was tough at three-quarter time, I think that nearly makes it borderline impossible for Western Australia. They have to be pretty much perfect from here on out if they're to have any say in the result of this one. But Victoria, once again, the domination continues. Noah Jenny winning in the middle. And they've got one hand on the trophy. They just need to continue the way they're going. And
Jenny looking to attack the short stick, sends it high.
How about that from Ashby Dennis, just helping his keeper out. And I think that had beaten Spark, and he's set himself up on the pipe.
That was a goal.
Putting your body on the line.
That was a goal. Don't have one goalkeeper, have two. A lot of high pressure from Victoria. They're happy to step out. Feeling pretty comfortable with the scoreline.
Not sure you'd see many other long sticks doing that.
Just cop that right on the shoulder.
We're going to need to see some similar dedication from his teammates down the field in the attack end if they're to try and reel this lead in. 7 goals at the moment. Gillespie
sweeps across the top, tries to lose the short stick. Great defense from Noah Jenny, super strong athlete.
Good piece there from Malsop. Just forces it down to the ground for Panting, and now they go again. Western Australia, Walker and Moffat. As he found the helmet there, not just a brush, so they'll play on.
They've sent the double. Free man up the top for Western Australia.
That will be a flag this time, though. I think it was River Bradley on the slide, just a little over the top. Just got under the helmet of Lachlan Walker there and a hold on Bradley. We joked about it the other day. Simon, but the Victorians nearly look as comfortable man down as they do, playing 6-on-6.
So much experience down there. They look really comfortable on the rotation. Look for them to disrupt down low. So you see Moffat step out and cover. Skip pass from Western Australia. Shot, goal! Walker takes advantage of that skip pass, gets it past the moving Sean Aaron, puts it to his hip. Great goal from Western Australia. That's exactly what they need. A quick goal, didn't eat up too much clock either.
That's it, just hit the go button straight away. Great skip pass to Lachlan Walker and a great finish as well. The left-handed Sean Aaron just putting it on his non-stick side. Keeps it within touching distance, 6 goals. They'll need more of the same quickly.
That penalty release, so we're back to even.
Jenny McDonald, sorry, in the middle for Victoria against Bryant. So Wood missing once again, but Koswara comes up with a big ground ball, but immediately under pressure. And
Malsop broken stick, he's hit the bench.
Out there. So we've got 2 pieces that...
Buckhorn immediately into the action. Timeout from Western Australia, maintaining possession. Hard fought ground ball. That was a must win for Western Australia. They need to see a lot of the ball in this last remaining 8 minutes.
So certainly a possibility, Western Australia, but as we said earlier, they're going to have to be pretty spot on from here. Malsop just snapping his stick out there, so you saw him burn straight to the box. I'm sure that he would have a spare out there somewhere.
Just having a little throw with that backup stick. And we've seen Malsop in the past. He's particularly aggressive in transition, so super important that that ball's going exactly where he needs it.
Definitely.
Scoring a goal against the U21 team, he'd look to get on the scoreboard this game, you'd imagine.
Certainly. And of course, after this one, stay around because we're going to be bringing you the Women's National Championship final. We've got the Victorians and West Australians in action over there as well. So stay tuned because there's more great lacrosse action coming your way this afternoon here from the Footscray Lacrosse Club as players return to the field and just about to get back underway shortly. The ball will restart with Gillespie.
Moving it high, Western Australia look to involve the short sticks.
Good
Rodriguez with a pick.
Good intent early. They know that they've got to move it quickly. Rodriguez wants to go on Hall, gets past one. Does he get the shot off? He does, but Sean Aaron able to read that one so well, and he's got Hall up the field.
Hall going for the slower option this time.
I think we'll see them just play a nice settled play down there. Victoria. McKinnon. He'll just carry and take it behind. Freeman on the release.
Victoria going with the inverted option, first time this game. Freeman below with the long pole. With the short pole, sorry. Western Australia sending all long poles to the top. That's where there's been a lot of danger.
McKinnon. Good defense there from Jaden Rodriguez. Dennis keeps it on Lorison, won't let him get that forward step as he keeps backpedaling and down to McKinnon, who will take it behind. He might have another look here on Rodriguez. No, just sends it across. And it's Freeman this time that attacks. He's got Hyde by himself. Good save there from Spark, but just tipped back to the Victorians. So Campbell McKinnon on the ground ball now. Passes Quintiao across to Clark. He's got the short stick matchup now. Rolls back onto the right. Up to Parsons Quintiao. Rolling. Separation. Big shot. Just missing wide. Just a great step on that Lucas Parsons Quintiao. So hard to stop.
Victoria doing such a great job of mixing up their game plans from previous games. Hyde finds himself on a short stick. Big push from Rodriguez. Fantastic short stick defense.
Hyde will go again.
Rodriguez bites on the fake and then look for the pass across to Freeman. Pass a little wayward. Great moves. I was just saying, it's been fantastic watching Victoria just change their game plan. This looks like a different team from even yesterday's game. They're mixing up how they score, how they attack, and I think that's caught Western Australia a little bit underprepared.
Yeah, definitely, Simon, as Western Australia clear the ball through Lachlan Walker. He must have been pretty close to that sideline because the Victorians challenging, but the referees were right there, so...
Western Australia opting to leave their big guns on the field. Rodriguez, Walker, Kozwara. Walker engages.
Feel like there'd be some heavy legs out there at the moment. Like you said, Simon, they have been out there. Your man Devoy back out in the pitch. Panting beats Mouse up on the inside, and he's beaten Aaron too, so that is exactly what Western Australia needed. Panting puts the West Australians back within 5.
Brilliant step from Panting on Malsop there. Malsop just caught a little bit too high, left him a little bit too much space underneath. And no help on the big boy there. You see just too much power. Put the shoulder in, tuck that stick, and just lent right into Malsop. And then great finish on Sean Aaron. Usually really, really good up close. Great finish. Exactly what Western Australia needed.
Well, one forward from Jenny. The great reply coming up from Victoria. Down to Clark, down to Lorison. Just misses high, but a late hit there from Beale. Called clean, though.
Little cheekiness from Marty Hyde there. I like it.
Kozwara back to Spark. They'll have to go quickly, West Australia. Beale. Back to Spark, and the slide will come, so they'll be able to clear through Spigot now. Pass not great to Dennis, draws the contact from Hall, off to Rodriguez, and as soon as they found the short stick, they put it down, so the Victorians will hustle on this scramble. Well done there from Bradley, rolled out of trouble, did it again, River Bradley.
What a ride from Victoria, so much pressure, bringing the heat all over the field. Western Australia thought they were through, and then that's just, they ran out of space.
Amazing ground ball work there from River Bradley. Pass knock fantastic to Darren Ricketts there, but good enough to have the handle and pick it up. Up to Parsons Quinty out. Under 4 minutes remaining now, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see the West Australians really push out. The keeper won't leave the cage just yet, but they'll be wanting to get the ball back as quickly as they can. It's Walton that comes out on Clark. Beale to Hyde now. Good slide there from Walton on the double team.
Victoria with the full invert, bringing their 2 attackers up high, Clark and Hyde. Potocznik with the short stick looks to engage. Moves it on.
Parsons Quintier, we'll see if he likes his chances on Kozwara. Just sends to Clark. Lorison, the screen on Clark. The double team comes from Walton, but he's tripped James Lorison there, so it'll just be a 30 seconds interference on Luke Walton.
Just clip the back of the legs there. Lorison a little ginger getting up. Interesting tactic from Victoria. They've gone for the invert. They move their attackers to the top, but they're running that similar sweeping play with the long sticks. I like to see them attack the short sticks behind the goal there. Try to get some pace running up the alleys.
What will be interesting to see here is if they do push the man-up opportunity or whether they're just happy to run another 30 seconds off the clock.
Under 3 minutes left here.
Of course, we do stop the clock when we hit the 2-minute mark as well. We run the stop clock. Newman, wind up. Parsons Quintier has had a few chances, unable to.
Great save from Spark. Great save from Spark. Follow-up. Western Australia looking to clear quickly. Great ride from Victoria. Western Australia running it down. Dennis running in. Open space in front of the goal. Chooses to pull it out. Lots of pressure now. All passes covered. Moves the ball high.
Nearly would have liked to have seen Ashby Dennis just pull the trigger there. They have to go. They've just got to go here, Western Australia. 5 goals. It's unlikely, but if they're to have any chance, they've got to attack the cage.
We've got a ball on the field. Malsup moves on to Walker.
Victoria still a man up here, but they won't send the double. The box is clear now, so back to even players out there. Aaron tries to intercept that one going behind. Wood on the left. Shot just missing. Backed up from Walker. They'll go again.
Walker, shovel shot. It's always interesting the end of the game when you so many goals behind that this is when you start attacking. You see Western Australia, they look really good. They're getting the shots. Victoria look a little worried. But it's all seems to be a little bit too little too late for Western Australia, unfortunately.
Shot from Koswara beats Sean Aaron. Just around that hip height. Awkward for the goalie, and Koswara puts in WA's third of the quarter. They've won this quarter 3-1, but...
And you see Koswara on the short stick here, engages. Parsons Quintier was the double. Another short stick, fires the shot early. This is what we hoped we would have seen from WA. We're 4 goals behind. Can they do it, Lockie?
Minute 15, unlikely, but with the stop clock, you'd need to win every face-off. But if I'm Victoria, I'm getting the champagne on ice at this stage, I think. Noah Jenny wins it in the middle, pops up to Caleb Paul, and that is going to be that.
Look to Victoria to try to maintain possession the whole time. Western Australia send the cavalry. Lots of tired legs there.
They haven't checked that into their attacking area, so even if that had crossed the defensive, the halfway line.
We've got a vacant goal from Western Australia. Potocznik runs it to the corner. A lot of pressure. Big ride from Western Australia. Bodies flying everywhere. We've got interference, ball going blue.
I think the gold jersey might have just played that from outside the field of play.
Marty Hyde, great ball protection. Moves it to Potocznik. Ball flying around.
We won't see the shot on goal. The Vics will just keep the ball. The double comes. Clark has the empty net. Will he put it away now? Yep, he does. Sean Clark.
Great goal from Clark. It's always a tough decision at this point. Western Australia going to leave that net vacant. And there's always that option to take the shot, but you want to burn as much of the clock as possible, not to give Western Australia a chance to pick it up from halfway.
Put himself in a position where he just couldn't not take the shot there.
Big
Sean
captain's
Clark.
goal. Big
Yeah,
captain's goal, that
definitely.
one. I'm not sure we would have seen a shot if Sean Clark wasn't the captain. He's just taken it upon himself.
Yeah, and what a leader he's been for this team.
Such a calming presence for the Vic team.
Victoria will be national champions once again. Jenny, we haven't seen him too often out there, but he's had quite the impact. Flicks it back to Buckhorn, just not quite there. So Buckhorn tries to flick it back. He's knocked off the ball, so WA will maintain possession.
Immediate pressure.
That's a
We got a quick flag there.
flag on Victoria, so they'll take it down and probably another one. So flags flying everywhere in the closing stages of this match.
I think we'll look to see Buckhorn finishing his time in this game in the box.
Probably just looking to have an impact in the closing stages. Hasn't spent too much time out there, so wanting to get involved. But we're just confirming how many fouls we've got being thrown here. So it's 1 for the slash, another for a slash. So just 2 minutes.
2 minutes left. Well, 2 minutes in the penalty. Under 10 seconds to go. Will Western Australia get a shot? Victoria send the help. Big shot. Sean Aaron, great save. Initiates contact. And that's the game. Victoria are national champions once again.
For the 5th time in a row, the national title belongs to the Victorian men. They get around their keeper, Sean Aaron. What a week it's been for the Victorians, losing their very first match to the West Australians. They lose their coach after the first day. They lose one of their
Starting attackers
in Quas, and they still come out on top in a dominant display in the final. Western Australia win the second half. They put in 6 goals to Victoria's 5, but Victoria, the 5-goal-to-1 head start, just the huge difference in this one as we run through the goal scorers, Simon.
Yeah, Western Australia, great performance from Lockie Walker. He was really strong for them. Between him and Panting, we mentioned them both early on in the game, but Victoria just too strong. We see the number of goal scorers, how many people involved in all of their plays. Campbell McKinnon, I don't think they would have thought they'd get 3 goals from him in the midfield. They tended to spread their goal scorers out throughout the week. But Campbell McKinnon, 3 goals, all different styles of goals.
And potentially the opening of Peter Quass helping Campbell McKinnon in that situation as well.
Absolutely, getting him on the field more, changing up how the Vics have had to attack the goal. And Campbell McKinnon, I mean, he'd have to be short on to be best on ground today, I think.
And Sweet Caroline blasting out from the Victorians. And it is so good for Victoria. Well-deserved win for the Victorians. Western Australia, they've had a week to remember. Started on fire, but just unable to come to the party early today. We saw that they were right in it after half-time, but the 5-goal-to-1 first quarter really is the difference in that one.
Yeah, it makes it really tough. WA, their high score for the tournament at 9 goals, but it does make it hard when there's 5-1 down in the first quarter and the max you've scored all tournament is the 8 goals. It makes it's a long way back.
Definitely.
But I think all of the discussion at this point is all about Victoria. They just built and built throughout the week. We saw them getting better and better. Their offense was getting more and more refined. That defense experience all just gelled. We commented that sometimes they looked better playing a man down than they did all even.
Teams just shake hands after a hard-fought match. Victoria coming away with the win as we see some of the better moments of this one. Parsons Quintier, so dangerous. You can see why the West Australians were worried about him early, putting that one away. The West Australians kept things interesting throughout that last quarter because Vara had an impact, and so did Lachlan Walker, who's their high scorer for the day. Quite a match for him, but
it was such great shooting all over the field, wasn't it? You see Panting here, drops the shoulder, finishes in low. That was a great late goal for Western Australia. And then Kozwara on this one just takes advantage of the short stick. Would have loved to have seen this a bit more early. Just attacking from those wings, getting above, and then getting the shot right into that sweet spot for Sean Aaron.
Definitely, and we see here with the empty net, Sean Clark, the captain's goal to finish us off. Considered running it down, but the empty net, too much temptation, so puts that one away and seals the win for Victoria. They'll be absolutely wrapped with how things finished out there. Simon, your final thoughts?
Look, I think 14-9 is a fairly convincing score sheet. We talked about the 5-goal head start, and 5 goals was the difference in the end. Victoria, 2 good early days. Congratulations to Victoria, 5 times champion in a row. That's a record. They'll enjoy the celebrations today, the Eels.
Definitely, and I'm pretty sure that Sweet Caroline rendition won't be the first one that we hear over the next couple of hours. Fantastic effort from both teams out there. We'll just see them line up and we'll have our best on match presentation shortly. Remember that there is more lacrosse action coming our way in a couple of hours as well. Well, not even a couple of hours, in about half an hour's time.
Redemption for Western Australia. We've got Victoria and Western Australia playing off in the senior women's competition. To live up to for the Western Australian women. The pressure's mounted now. Victoria have looked really strong all tournament, and they'll look to really ram home their position as country leaders of lacrosse.
Certainly, and yeah, the Vics will be looking to make it 2 from 2 at their home ground, as we just see our presentations about to take place. We'll keep an eye on who our coaches deem to be the best on ground.
Unique for lacrosse here, where both teams will get an MVP. Be interesting to see who Western Australia go with. My money's on Lachlan Walker. He was a lot of the drive for them. He brought a lot of the tempo and attack, made a lot of the decisions. And then for Victoria, I think Campbell McKinnon, 3 goals. He's a chance. Sean Clark really changed the tempo.
I think Caleb Hall probably set the pace early as well.
Caleb Hall was doing it at both ends.
It's James Lorison. He was
we
also,
know nothing,
is also
Lockie.
great
We
down
know
there.
absolutely nothing.
Jimmer with, I think he finished with 3 goals as well. So really lit it up early as well, Lorison, I think. And that early domination was, he had a lot to do with that as well.
And it's always interesting with these MVPs. They are coach selected. So the values of what the coaches see often different to what we see on the sideline. They see the different things, the things that they appreciate. And there we go. We've got Rodriguez, the MVP for Western Australia. People who play the biggest impact for them today.
And of course, a big thank you to our major partners for helping this event get underway. The Victorian Government, the 2022 Lacrosse Australia Men's and Women's National Championship is supported by the Victorian Government. Xena partnering with our female high performance team. Xena Performance Vest has been put through the highest standard of sports science impact testing via leading Australian unis to provide the best protection while being extremely lightweight and agile with no restriction on player movements. Head to xenasport.co to check out their range. And of course, Sports Armour. Sports Armour provides comfort protective equipment for athletes to prevent injuries and enhance performance. Check out sportsarmour.com.au. Our major partners having a huge impact on helping this event get up off the ground. Simon, that's probably close to us wrapping this one up, I think. Victoria coming away with the National Championship. Thank you very much for your time, mate. Really appreciated it. And a great contest that we saw on display.
Oh, it was fantastic. And on behalf of all of the lacrosse community, I want to thank you, Lockie. You've worked tirelessly with everyone at the Australian Lacrosse Network to get all of the games up over the past 4 to 5 days. I think everyone in Australian lacrosse is really, really appreciative of the effort that you guys all put in. I was definitely just a flyby. You guys do all of the heavy lifting and all that grunt work, and you do such a great job. So on behalf of everyone, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much, mate. Well, yeah, there'll be a few more shout-outs after one more match that we've got on our plates. The Victoria and Western Australia coming up in the Women's National Championship final very shortly. That'll be at 2 p.m. kickoff. So stay tuned, and we'll bring you more lacrosse action soon. Lachlan Williams, Simon Lovett, signing off. Thank you very much.